Now, if you guys know me, I always like to talk about very delicate topics because I feel like a lot of MLBB YouTubers just don't really talk about these things. And I mean, I totally understand that. Or maybe it's just me who keeps getting these kinds of keyboard warriors, conveniently so. Definitely understand if you don't want to talk about something on your channel. I mean, it's your channel after all. No surprise that everything is about how to get this or how to get that, or what is the new meta for each and every week. But I feel like it isn't about materialism or how good you are at the game. Sure, it's really nice to know what the meta is, or what works in these recent patches, or what strategies that you can come up with, or what strategies you can do while in laning phases. These are all very good things to know. On the other hand, they always manage to target the wrong audience. Now, what do I mean by this? Let me give you a good example. So let's say you want to learn how to play a hero, or specifically you want to learn how to build them. So maybe search up what are the best Selena builds, or maybe you look at the game directly and you look at the top globals for this specific character. And you're like, okay, so this is what the top globals build. So obviously it must be the correct way to build that character. And now here's where the issue comes in. Let's say you decide to build something very completely different than these usual builds. Some people may declare that that specific build is negligible. Why? Because it's not in one of those top builds for a specific character or top guides. I feel like it's not necessarily the meta that is the issue or specific game characteristics, but I quite literally think that a good chunk of the MLBB player base indoctrinated themselves because they're like, okay, so I have to build this on that character. I have to play this character like that. But what they fail to understand is that this is a video game and it's not some kind of rule book. So the reason why they're called guides or recommendations, you do not have to play this game meticulously. I understand having a passion to play the game how it's supposed to be played, or actually, quote unquote, properly. No matter how overzealous you might be in learning about the meta or learning what works best, there is no reason for people to be keyboard warriors or to blatantly insult people. Now, you might be asking, Celeste, why are you talking about this if nothing happened? Well, in this match specifically, I honestly thought for a good part of the game that everything was going fine. Now, what I don't understand is why specifically our jungler decides to start getting a little bit bad-tempered throughout the game. Now, they weren't directly speaking to me throughout the game, so at this point you might just call it conjecture. But they did leave me a lovely, lovely message at the end of the game. And this also drives me to believe that they were muted. And this proves my point even more so. Because throughout the game, you notice that they'll ping me for no reason. And I was like, it's kind of weird. Because at some point, you will see that our jungler clearly is making mistakes. And it just so happens he decides to ping me. I don't understand. This doesn't make any sense. It quite literally doesn't make any sense. Why are you blaming me for your mistakes? I understand making a mistake and I won't say anything about it. But when it comes to blaming your teammates for your mistakes, babes, let's turn it down a level or two. Because trust me, it is not that serious. And there is no reason why you're just blatantly toxic. Beyonce forbid, if he was not muted in this game, he would have been digging my ass like a gold mine, trying to search for every single insult he can find just to use it against me. Oh, Celeste, if it's not that deep, why are you talking about it? I'm talking about it because his behavior is quite literally disgusting. I'm trying to spread awareness because who knows? You might be the next person who's prejudiced against. You might be the next person these people are calling racial slurs. You might be the next person these people are being misogynistic towards. Now, I just want to make this clear. I'm no angel. I'm no saint. I also make a plethora of mistakes myself, but at least I'm not being insolent towards other people. I actually try to be considerate. I always ask myself, will what I say offend this person or possibly hurt them? That's why when I see someone playing quote-unquote bad on my team, I always cover it up by saying, that's interesting. What they're doing or how they're playing is very interesting. Because for all I know, they could be having a bad day. Like, guys, this is not something to joke about. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, the concept of calling people slurs over a video game is literally, it's baffling. It's crazy. This is crazy. And another thing, I know we all like to joke about the dark system. And if I understand the dark system correct, it's basically picks that aren't considered to be normal or heroes that are just literally unviable. Now, I'm going to I'm going to grab your hand while I say this, but using the dark system as a joke to, again, blatantly insult people I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I understand. Maybe we call people to the dark system because they play bad, but are they throwing? Or are they simply having a bad match? Always ask yourself that. Even if they are throwing, literally play the match out. Trust me, you're only gonna be matched with them for one game. You can block them, do whatever after the game's done. There is no reason for us to look like the bad person in these situations. If someone's throwing, that's on them. Don't say anything. Try to be the better person. Try to tell them, hey, maybe if you stop throwing, we can actually win. And if they don't, just report them after the game. It's literally that easy. You honestly don't have to be throwing slurs around. And one last thing I would like to say before concluding this. Now, this is definitely not directed to anybody, or I don't have a specific person in mind, but I feel like the best way to explain this is by giving an example starting by myself. When someone is being rude to me, it's very clear that they're just trying to get a reaction out from me. I don't say anything. Why? Because as we all know, words and actions influence others. I want to tell my audience that if you're in the same position, you would do what I do. I understand it's tiring being the better person. However, it's a video game. These people are more concerned over a video game than their own self-worth. So every time I see people being maybe very passive-aggressive or just completely rude, I always try my best to ignore it. Because that's what I want to tell my audience. Like, hey, if someone's being rude towards you, you don't have to be rude back. Because that's literally what they wanted. Just a reaction. And I always see a lot of YouTubers they don't control the situation. It's like they always do things without really thinking about it. Because they have an audience. And it's kind of like, why are we calling somebody every single slur in the book? You know that you clustered up an audience. Now, I won't speak for every YouTuber, but I do not tolerate this kind of behavior because I know what prejudice feels like. I know what racism feels like. And I know how it feels to be ostracized. Sure, I may not be able to do anything for you in real life, but as long as you're in our community, I'll try to make your stay as pleasant as possible. Now, sure, it may be reasonable to be rude back to somebody who's being rude to you. However, again, think about it. Will you being rude back change the situation? Like whether you're actually telling them something or not? Will they stop thinking the way they think? Will they stop saying the things they say? Will they stop doing the things they do? I don't know, maybe it's just the person I am, but I don't really think all this hate is necessary or all this insolence over a video game. Sure, I can understand that maybe it's hard for some people to grasp on this topic, but these things, they're worth talking about. They are something to be discussed. It isn't really trying to make yourself look good by talking about these things, but I can definitely understand that these things hurt. And although it's just like, maybe it's online, you wouldn't really think of it that much, because whether you might want to believe it or not, the things you say, the things you do, they could affect somebody. And this is why I always ask that people be considerate. Try to think of both sides. What if the things you said were directed towards you? How would you feel? I feel like it's always a matter of throwing the question back to yourself. Like that, I feel like it would be a lot easier to analyze and think if what you're doing or saying could be impactful towards somebody. Now, whether you want to heed my words or not, it's completely up to you. This video isn't to completely make you change your mind. It's just to give you something to think about. Because I feel like when people say very concerning things, it's not just poison to the oppressed, but also the oppressor. Whether the oppressor wants to believe it or not, for them to even get a thought like that, something must have had to happen. But what would I know? I'm just a silly person on the internet. Not like I would know the weight of words.